Conor was like, I only count knockouts in my record.
The only thing that's final in this business is a knockout. All the other the decisions, the taps, all that means nothing to me. I'm coming to take a man's head off.
And then you just see like a reply from Khabib that's like, I take people into deep waters and they discover themselves. It's like, dude, what the fuck is this guy talking about? What's scarier than a white Muslim just talking shit, dude?
I take people into deep waters and they discover themselves. That should be the name of his book. That guy made it to undefeated as a world champion, and the last guy he beat was what many people thought would be his most dangerous challenge, and he almost had him in the first round. He got him in the second round. Ugh. He's the greatest of all time. What did Nate say that fucked with you?
Okay, Nate Diaz and Nick is like kind of together in a way. He said for my fight that I poisoned his IV, that I was on steroid, that my rap was wrong. I gotta confess.
Okay.
I was so scared during this fight, so we tried to poison. I was so scared of fighting Nick Diaz, so we poisoned his IV. But he survived. So I was even more terrified, you know. So all the athletic commission was on my payroll, so they tricked away and then I made it. And it went through, so I was even more terrified.
So what did you do for striking?
You really want to know what I did?
Yeah.
You know the UFC game? I would use Renan Barral and Jose Aldo, and I'll do stuff with them. I'd be like, oh yeah, this works in the game. So my friend at the time, Dustin Kimura, he would kind of hold mids for me, and I'd be like, look, I tried this in the game and it was working. Let's try it. And we did it. I figured it out from freaking UFC, the regular UFC game, the first ever UFC game.
What?
Yeah, with Renan Barral.
You would watch the video game.
I would play the video game and be like, oh, look at this. I would try combination. I'd be like, oh yeah, this kind of works. So let's try it. Why not? It got me that far.
That is so ridiculous. He's a very nice guy and he's a hard worker, but he does not have athletic talent. He's missing a lot, and he's a showman. And when he was in the WWE, he was allowed to say, I am the fucking man, and throw his arms up in the air. Right. And they had it scripted so that he was the man. But, you know, when you're in there with a guy like Mike Jackson, who had zero fear of him and just was so casual and just popping him in the face anytime he wanted to, and literally could have stopped him anytime. If he just got angry and wanted to stop him, he could have stopped him at any point in the fight. And even though he beat him decisively, the performance it pissed Dana White off so bad the way he was fighting that he called him a fucking idiot, and he said he'll never fight in the UFC again.
He never tried. I don't know what that guy did for a living before we gave him the shot, but whatever it was, he needs to go back and do that again. He's 0-2 as far as I'm concerned.
You know, when Frank Mir broke his arm and he tried to keep fighting, that's you too, right?
I got to referee that. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Because I remember the crowd was booing. Like, boo.
You know, the arm broke. I heard it. I saw it. So he misguides her and says, I think he's worried about this. And then she's like, hey, no, nothing's wrong. And I was like, oh, man. In my mind, I was thinking it's been great being here, but I'm not going to be doing this anymore. You know what I mean? And then, you know.
That's interesting. He made that switch already in your head.
I swear, I was like, in my mind, I was thinking that. I was thinking about how to get out of there when they start throwing stuff. No, but then you found it.
Yeah.
You saved me.
Watching the replay, and I was like, let's take a look at this. Hold on. What's that? I go, look at his arm. I'm like, that's a broken arm. Like, that arm is broken. Look at that. Watch it one more time. Oh, and I had the truck roll it back again. Yeah. And then I went into the octagon, and I remember saying immediately, like, you guys need to watch this. Like, here we go. Let's play this. Here we go. That's a broken arm. Well, he beat up that kid who's a smaller than him streamer named Sneeko, which is not a good look. He beat the shit out of that guy. I just don't know why he wanted to do that. It's so easy for him to beat that guy up. But Sean Strickland's a different animal. He's got this fucking man code, and he believes in it. Like, you got to get your ass kicked every now and then. He spars all the time, spars constantly. And if you agree to get in there with him, you're essentially agreeing to let him beat the fuck out of you, because you don't really have a chance. Like, you have no chance.
Most intimidating moment I ever had, I was filming Francis eating a banana, and he didn't like it. I was in the elevator with him and Usman. We was in Pittsburgh when we did UFC Pittsburgh, when Rocco fought David Branch back then, and Francis came to support Kamaru. So they going to do jiu-jitsu in the little workout room, and Francis is like talking to Usman, opening in a banana. And I'm like, he put the banana in his mouth, he started eating it, and I'm filming, and he looked, hey, he like slapped the camera away. Whoa. That was my boy though, Francis, my boy. But that was before I really knew him.
Filming him eating?
Maybe he just didn't,
Just
you know,
was tired of
men with bananas in their mouth, they might not like the banana in the tailpipe. That was funny. Francis is intimidating, man.
When I fought Cub Swanson in London, England, I took it on short notice. And I had just won a fight before, and it was right around Christmas, so I was eating. And when they called me, they asked me my weight, and I told them, 170, but I was like 187 or something. And it was like really short notice. So me and my team fly out there. I'm 30 pounds over when we land. You know, fight week, they check.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. It's so crazy.
They check your weight fight week when you show up to make sure. I was 176, and it was a 45. Yeah.
But you made it.
Made it.
How the fuck did you make that?
I don't know. Almost died. I feel like weigh-ins were kind of blurry. I don't like my memory's gone from weigh-ins. It's not good for you.
You know, it's funny because right after my last fight, he was cage side with Dana, and he invited me out to Bedminster in Jersey. He was like, "Come golf with me." Coolest freaking dude, man. I think when I first got there, rolled up. I mean, there's 30 Secret Service members. You know, everybody's doing their thing. Then we just golfed for like 4 hours, rode in the cart with him, and he was like the coolest guy. So with it, so smart, asking me about fighting. We were talking about, you know, all boxing, we talked about football, talked about golf, and he was so sharp and with it. I think it's me, Trump, OJ Anderson, who's an NFL running back, Super Bowl MVP, and LT. And like that's the foursome. And I'm like, wow, what the heck is going on here?
There's so many doubters, so many naysayers, so many people didn't want you to get that title shot. It was so unfair, dude. It was really wild. It was wild to see. It really was. It really was. Because I'm like, are you guys not watching his fights? Like, what the fuck are you guys seeing? I do not understand when people don't appreciate excellence. I really don't get it. I never, like the Sean Brady fight, you see that fight, you don't think this dude is a fucking problem for everybody? You see the Wonder Boy fight, see all your fights.
And all of them, they've been different, right? Like with the Sean Brady, all I did was stand up. I didn't shoot one takedown on him. Gilbert Burns, I didn't shoot one takedown. Wonder Boy, I took him down. Obviously, I'm not going to strike with a kickboxer, so I've showed you guys all forms of martial arts.
Yeah.
And people still hate it. They're still hating.
So crazy. I read this guy's book. I started running stairs because of this dude.
You read a kickboxer's book?
Oh, yeah. I read
dumb as fuck.
I'm dumb as fuck. I've read about 30 kickboxers books. Every kickboxer book that anybody ever wrote, I read.
I did sit-ups, and then I kicked that guy in the fucking head.
That would be a dumb fat dude's interpretation of what a world-class combat sport athlete would tell you what to do.
Keep it together. So I was like, I not only need to run at him, but I need to have like a change of speed, because that's gonna make him go into his natural crotch sniffing instincts. If I just change the speed on him, he's gonna fucking duck. So that's why I came out slow, cut the little angle, and let him like, oh, okay, you know, we're gonna circle it up. As soon as I change speed, what does he do? Go to his fucking initial instincts is a fucking crotch sniffer. Go sniff the crotch. Instead, you're gonna kiss his knee goodbye, though, you know?
That was one of the greatest knockouts in the history of the sport, without a doubt. I mean, one of the best ever.
Thank you, sir. Plus, it doesn't take up too much of your time. You know, you got, hey, you want to see a dead body real quick? Bam, you know, and it's over.
Here it is in real time. My goodness.
I had one guy hit me with a monstrous overhand right while we were drilling, and that was intentionally to knock me out. And instead of retaliating, I said, man, you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. And I just, okay, well, that was fun, man. Nice working with you. Just would never, ever work with you again. I had one guy punch me in the balls intentionally, too, not too long ago. And that was his last time ever training with me as well.
Yeah, but you do find those disturbed people that get involved in fighting. And they do want to take a chance at a guy like John Jones. Just take a swing at you, man. We'll connect and knock him out. I knocked out John Jones.
Right.
It's interesting how clean everything is. It's so clean and orderly.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, so many people walking on the street, nobody's bumping into anybody. Everybody's, like, very polite.
Yeah, they're very polite. But they're like robots, bro. I remember one time when I was fighting there, this one guy on the other side of the street recognized me, but he wasn't sure. He was riding a bike, and he was looking at me. He wasn't paying attention to where he was going, and he fucking smacked in the back of the truck and fell down his bike. We all was laughing our ass off, but the Japanese people, no one laughed, no one tried to help him up, none of that. He was hurt kind of bad, and I would have went over there and tried to help him, but it was like a busy streets. I was like, and I had
Nobody even helped him?
No one even helped
They
him.
just kept walking.
Just kept walking. One dude stepped over him.
Oh, Jesus.
Just kept walking. No one laughed, though. That's the thing that fucked me up. We was laughing our ass off.
I'm not sure if I've ever shared this with anyone else before, but I had this crazy thing that I would do where I would party 1 week before every fight. And I did it throughout my whole career. 1 week before every fight, I would go out and I would get blacked out wasted. And my logic was, if this guy were to beat me somehow, I can look myself in the mirror and say that, well, I lost because I got hammered the week before the fight.
Have you ever worked with a sports psychologist?
No, but now I don't. My Open St. Preux fight was the first fight that I did not do that. It was my worst performance.
Did you ever fight anybody who calf kicked you?
Yeah, Forrest
Griffin did? Yeah?
Yeah. The first two rounds, he fucked my calf up. I never seen that kick before.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, never even trained against it.
Because that was 2008.
My worst year ever. Yeah. He calf kicked the shit out of me. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
that shit was hurting.
No one does it like Alex Pereira does. He does it so sneaky. It's also, he's got that crazy long frame, but he stands almost like square and then just throws the leg out. Like, you don't even see anything coming. There's no tell at all. There's no like dip. There's no step. It just throws it out there, and all of a sudden, you see guys' legs get fucked up.
Yeah.
One or two of them, and you can't move good.
Would you let your son fight?
I would let my son fight before I'd let him do football.
The football is way worse.
I think it's way worse. They did a study on CTE with football, and they went from high school all the way into NFL players. And even in high school kids, most of them have it. And then you get into NFL, like people play all the time. Like they played like Pee Wee, they played junior high school, high school. Most likely they have some form of CTE. And then you get into, if you get into NFL, it's like 90+% of the guys have CTE.
I never heard of this shit till recently. We had Chandler Jones on our podcast. Our John Jones brother.
Yeah.
You met him before?
No.
And
I've seen him at the UFC though.
Yeah, he seems like a real cool guy, but he was saying that people diagnosed him with CTE, but he said he didn't believe in it.
Wasn't Chandler the one that had some sort of an incident where he went crazy?
Yeah, he did have something.
Yeah.
Like that.
A lot of people don't believe in things that are still real.